Hey you guys, just want to let you know that as of Friday, the Burda fall patterns dropped. And let me say that they dropped 30 patterns, but your girl is not here for majority of them. I'm going to leave majority of them where they need to be. But let's go ahead and get into it. So if that's some content you would like to see, please continue to watch. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's your girl Rochelle from Rochelle.Handmade.Designs, and in this video I'm going to be sharing with you guys the new Burda fall 2024 patterns. Now listen, it's pretty late where I'm at and my kids are asleep, so instead of me being right in front of you guys, we're going to do it behind the scenes today because it's really late at night on Friday, and I'm trying to get this up hopefully by Sunday. All right. But if you are new to the channel, welcome. Hello, Ciao, Guten, Aloha, Hola, Konnichiwa, Gwaan, Sabonani, Shalom, Bonjour, Terve. If you're returning, you guys know what to do. Quick snack, something to drink, grab those notebooks so you are able to write down which ones you like. So without further ado, to keep this short, sweet, give you all the deets and the news that you can use on this video, let's go ahead and get into it. All right, so first things first, they dropped 30 patterns, but you guys know I'm not going to be doing any doggy patterns. I'm not going to be sharing any pet patterns, apron patterns, any type of home decor patterns. Those you can go to simplicity.com and see those. Now, the ones that are not those that I just said, it's 21 patterns that I'm going to be sharing with you guys today. Now, out of those 21 patterns, your girl is only picking up like 6 patterns. Now, instead of me just sharing those 6 patterns with you, I'm going to actually share the collection and tell you why I won't be picking up a lot of these. All right. So let's go ahead and dive right on in, starting with, now all of these are Burda, so I'm just going to say the number. First one is 5761, which is the Mrs. Cargo trouser pants. This is beginner friendly. The pattern rating is rated as super easy. Now, for most of the Burda sizing, they normally range 8 to 22, which is basically your size 34 to 48 hips, okay? Now, let's get into this pattern. Now, this pattern is more of like a parachute trousers, and it's more like a casual style, practical details. It has elastic waistband and a drawstring. It also have wide legs as well. So view A is more of a cargo style pocket. View B is more of like your wide leg pants, and then view C is a pair of shorts. Okay, now you can make these however you want. It does feature a double stitch elastic waistband as well, and extra comfort for sure. Now, this is a pattern that I will be picking up. Now, I do want to say that I know you guys call me the pattern whisperer because, you know, I'm like a pattern roller deck. I can tell you what this pattern reminds me of. Now, I am going to be picking this pattern up. However, I have a sew along already on the channel that's very similar to this. All you need to do is just add, you know, some drawstring casing at the bottom. New Look 6644 is a very close, you know, pattern that you can do and leave this one on the shelf if you choose to. All right. Now, in terms of the pattern, well, I already said the pattern sizing. In terms of fabric, I'm going to just mention like rayon, challis, viscose would be great. Any type of jerseys, but if I was to make these pants, I would probably use a rayon as well, or a twill or linen for these pants. All right, or cargo trousers. But once again, it's 5761. Moving over to the next one is 5762, which is a pair of leggings. So these are more like your flared yoga leggings, which was great back in the early 2000s. They also feature biker shorts as well as what you're seeing on view B. And then they also have a feature where you could put your cell phone in the pocket. You know, that is the big thing nowadays as well. Some of the recommended fabric for these are basically jersey knit. All right. Now, a couple of things that's mentioned is, you know, it has a casual cut, and it also has a version for a boho vibe as well. Of course, it features that elastic waistband. This is rated as super easy to sew because it's a Burda Easy. And of course, in terms of the sizing, it's 8 to 22, which is equivalent to size 34 to 48 hips, okay? So that's what you have for 57.62. This is not something that I'm going to be picking up, but if you are all into athleisure wear and want to so use something, you know, for gym style wear or just athleisure wear, this would be the pattern for you. Once again, it's 57.62. Moving over to the next one is 57.63, which is Mrs. T-shirts. Now, I'm just going to say this, that I just go and buy some t-shirts. I'm not going to make just basic t-shirts like this because I could buy a whole pack for less than what it would cost to make it. But let's get into this one. This is a t-shirt pattern. For this one, you're going to need some form of jersey fabric. It is a Burda Easy Sew, which means it's super easy to sew. In terms of the sizing, 8 to 22, which is the same as 34 to 48 bust measurement. Once again, the bust measurement, 34 to 48, because this is the top. All right. So this is more like a relaxed fit sweater, or I would say like a boxy style t-shirt. You're going to need jersey fabric, which I already mentioned. This is relaxed shoulders. It also features like a 3/4 length sleeves for this one. You can do some color blocking, which is what you see in view B and view C. So they have solid on the front, color block in the back, or half and half, which would be a fun thing to do as well. But once again, this is 57.63. Moving over to the next pattern is 57.64. And this is basically a waistcoat or vest, okay? So it features like a zipper. You also have a view A is more like your crop view. View B is more like your longer view, or should I say more kind of like a coat. That also features a stand-up collar for view C, has that stand-up collar, and it's more like a vest for that one as well. And then for this one, I mentioned it's easy to sew. You can use so many different fabrics as well. So in terms of fabric, you can use teddy plush. You can use, I would say you can use fleece or flannel if you choose to. It's just going to be super lightweight if you do that as well. You can quilt this if you choose to. Now, just keep in mind that it is a Burda Easy pattern, and with the Burda Easy pattern, they rate the pattern as super easy. Now, you guys know I don't sew a lot of Burda patterns. I do have a lot of Burda patterns for sure, but once again, this pattern is 57.64. Moving over to the next one is 57.65, which is a Mrs. top, and this is basically a sporty top. Easy to sew, another Burda Easy to sew. I've been noticing that the last few ones have been Burda Easy, which means super easy to sew. So they're keeping these patterns beginner friendly. In terms of fabric, you're going to need some jersey knits for that one, and make sure you do like a double stitching or use a twin needle when you are doing this fabric. All right. So you have different, you know, options. View A is more just like your regular functional cami. View B is more like a bralette or a crop bra style, sports bra style, and then view C is more kind of like your covered belly top as well. It does feature a crisscross strap back on this fabric, on this pattern as well, and it will walk you step by step. In terms of sizing, it's 8 to 22, which is the same as saying 34 to 48 bust measurement. All right. But once again, it's 57.65. Next pattern is 57.67. And this is the Mrs. dress. Now, this is another one that I will not be picking up. I just feel like I could hack this pattern. I have a bodice that's very similar. The skirt will be great to do if I use New Look 6559, I believe is the pattern number, or 6659. I'll put it up because I already made this skirt before. So if I was just to do kind of like a crisscross top and just put the skirt on there, hack the pattern a little bit, you know, and get the same vibe that I have for this one. So that's why I'm going to leave it up on the shelf. But this one is a Mrs. dress. It has a wrap effect at the bodice, and then it has some pleats going on at the skirt section. You can use many different types of fabric of your choosing. Just to name a few of the fabrics you can use cotton fabric, you can use poplin, just to name a few. It is an average to sew pattern. Now, this is one that, like I said, I'm not going to be picking up, but you know, it would be interesting to hack 2 patterns and achieve the same effect. Now, you guys know the pattern hackathon is still going on until the 31st, hosted by my girl Chris from Unsocial. So if you are interested in doing, you know, anything, make sure you are not only tagging Chris from Unsocial, but you are definitely using the hashtag Pattern Hackathon 24. Make sure you put in that 24 so she's able to see your entry, so you can win one of the nice, lovely prizes that she was able to secure. All right. So once again, this is 5767. One thing I'm going to mention before we get to the next pattern is, now you guys know that Joann's only have like a Burda pattern sale 4 times a year: spring, summer, fall, and winter. And I'm just going to put it out there. The next one, now remind you, they just had one like the end of June. Okay. So the next one that will probably pop off will be towards the end of August into Labor Day weekend. Now, I'm putting it out there, and I know you like, Rochelle, how in the world do you know? Like, I'm just going by like the facts, the historicals from when I have made Burda videos. And you guys know, your girl be knowing, okay? So I just want to put that out there, that just stay tuned for a Joann sale where you can run and get any of these patterns that I am showing you right now. But just note that it may not be in your store until the next season. All right. Until spring, when they have the next pattern one for the winter time, which will probably be sometime in November. All right. Moving over to the next pattern, 5768, which is a men's jacket. Now this one is like a shacket / lumberjack style button down shirt, or shacket. Okay, that's what I'm gonna call it. It's more like a shacket. Now, back in the days, we used to call it lumberjack shirt now, or plaid shirt. Now everyone calls it a shacket. All right, so some of the fabrics that you can use for this one, I would just say like any type of wool. Flannels, you can use flannels, you can use wool, you can use plaid, you can use gingham, you can use tweed. You can use a lot of different fabrics in order to do this. I already have a shacket slotted for my Make 9 board for the fall. So this one is definitely staying at the store or online, whichever one I want to choose. But that's what this one is. This is also rated as an average to sew pattern as well. In terms of pattern sizing, it's 38 to 48. Now, that's the sizing. However, it equates to 48 to 58. I have no idea how they do this, but what I would definitely say is measure yourself before you start any project. Measure yourself. I don't care if you measured yesterday, because sometimes we eat, water weight, you get it. Measure every time you make something. And then I have showed you guys several times in so many sew-alongs how to measure the pattern pieces as well to get a good fit. So just do that and you'll be good to go. All right, moving over to the next pattern. It's 5775. And this one right here, I'm of course leaving it. I will not be picking this one up, but it's a Mrs. blouse. And this one has 2 different blouse options. You have one that buttons down the front, and then you have another one that is more like a hidden placket. Now, view A is more like your straight edge at the bottom at the hem. And then view B is more like your rounded curve edge as well. If you're doing the curve edge, I would highly advise you to use some bias tape. For that, you also have set-in sleeves. And you know, you also have like a ruffle sleeve there as well. You will have some cuffs for your sleeve for both view A and view B. All right. But this is an average to sew pattern. In terms of sizing, it comes in size 10 to 22, which is the same bust measurement of 36 to 48 on this pattern. All right. But once again, it's 5775. Moving over to the next pattern, is 5777. Now, I'm on the fence if I would get this pattern, and the reason why is because I have a similar pattern to this. I can hack it and make that V-neck for sure. I know how to draft the ties that goes on the front of view A. So, I mean, now we know that Burda patterns will not be $2.99. When they are on sale, they'll probably be $3.99. So I think what I will do is take a pattern out of my stash and give it a good hack and call it a day and leave this one where it's at. All right. Now, just to tell you a little bit about this pattern, it is an average to sew pattern for this one. Some of the fabrics you can use is crepe, visco, and silk, just to name a few there. In terms of pattern sizing, it's 10 to 20, which is the same as size 36 to 46 of a bust measurement. All right. Now, a couple of features of this is you have pleats going on at the sleeve. You have an extra long tie ribbon for view A. You have cuffs and buttons for the end of that sleeve as well. It is a midi length style dress. View B, you have a belt, which is more like it looks like an elastic style belt. You know, you have a regular belt for view A and then an elastic style belt for view B, which is, you know, it's really nice to see that as well. But once again, this pattern is 5777. Moving over to the next one, it's 5780, which is a Mrs. blouse. Now this one I will not be picking up because I have so many patterns similar to this one, and you guys know I've been trying to keep my pattern stash down as much as possible and just hack a lot of the patterns that I have. So this is not one that I will be picking up. But in terms of the pattern rating, it's easy to sew. Now for this one, I would say some of the fabric recommendations would be silk, visco, crepe, just to name a few there as well. Now this one is more of kind of like a button placket. So instead of a button placket, it's more like a hidden placket, I guess. I don't even know how to even say this simply because I don't see any buttons anywhere on this pattern. But yeah. So anyway, the neckline is a slit neckline. You also have wide sleeves going on in view A. And then view B, you have kind of like a sleeve band there for sure. But, you know, I think it would look great in like a crepe back satin or a satin itself. So yeah, I can see a couple of these sewn up. Just, I'm not interested in sewing this pattern. All right. But once again, it's 5780. Moving over to the next pattern is 5782. And this pattern is a Mrs. Dress and Tunic pattern. This is rated as an easy to sew. And with this easy to sew, the pattern range from size 18 to 28, which is the same as saying a size 44 to 54. So I think when they have the bigger size range, that just means pretty much kind of like our plus size ladies will be able to get this pattern if they choose to. Okay. I mean, this one is not bad, but you know, like I said, I have tons of patterns that looks like this one, so I'm going to keep it in the store. But in terms of fabric recommendation, of course, knits, jersey knits, interlock knits, ponte knits, bamboo knits, you get my drift. All right. So this pattern is more of like your boxy style dress. It has the box pleat going on in the front. It has a stand-up collar for view A as well. In terms of view B, it's more like a sweater or sweatshirt with the stand-up collar. You also have a drawstring. You have wide cuffs going on view B. And, you know, the front pleat is an actual cool detail for the front as well. But once again, this is 5782. Moving over to the next pattern is 5783, which is a Mrs. Dress and Blouse pattern also. And this is an average to sew pattern. So view A is your dress and view B is your top. So view A dress, it looks like it has kind of like a forward shoulder seam. It also has pleats there as well to add volume. It also has kind of like a yoke in the back. You also have the feature of a cuff for view A. It has a cuff and button. It looked like it has pockets on the side, which we all know. I like a pocket. I love pockets on my dress, but it depends on what style of dress, okay? Now, view B, the tunic or top, you have elasticated sleeves. Well, it looks like elasticated sleeve, but it looks like more like a cuff there. But this cuff is like the elastic volume, the added volume into the cuff, all right? But in terms of the sizing for this one, it's an average to sew. In terms of sizing, it's 10 to 20, and which equates to a 36 to 46 on the pattern, all right? But that is $57.83. Moving over to the next one, it's $57.84, which is a business dress. Now, this is more like a, I'm gonna say like a party dress. That's how I see this. So it has, so you could do a color block like you see in view A. View B is just your normal. It has a lot of pleats going on, both at the cuff and at the shoulder seams for sure. It looks like a full rep dress going on in view B. And then view A is just your regular standard bodice type dress there. Some of the fabrics that you can use will be crepe, silk, lace, just to name a few. If you're trying to color block it, it does feature a belt. I like this pattern, but I'm not going to be picking it up. In terms of pattern sizing, size 10 to 20 on the pattern envelope. Moving over to the next pattern, it's $57.90. So I'm interested in this pattern, although I do have a Mimi G pattern that I did when I did a collaboration with Shatoka from Shatoka J here on YouTube. And I think what I would do is lengthen that pattern and then hack it or whatnot. So I think that's what I would do with this one. But this one is a Burda Easy or super easy to sew pattern. You're going to need your jersey knit for this one as well. So this one is one that features different sleeve lengths. You have view A, your short sleeve. View B and C are your long sleeves as well. Or I would say more like a 3/4 length sleeve there. It also features turtleneck, which is why I'm interested in this one for sure. But once again, it's $57.90. Let's go ahead and move over to the next pattern. Next pattern is $57.91, which is the men's top. And of course, I'm not interested in this one either because I have many patterns like this. I did one which was like McCall's 8143, which is very similar to this one. So I'm going to leave this one on the shelf. But it's a stand-up. So this is a missus top with a stand-up collar and a zipper going on at the front. Now for this one, you can use many different style of fabrics. You can use sweatshirt fabric, you can use jersey, fleece, flannel, whatever you want to use. This is an average to sew pattern, okay? So you need a little bit of skills in order to sew this pattern, but it's nothing that I don't think that you just can't do, all right? In terms of sizing, it's 36 to 46 on this pattern. Once again, it's $57.91. Moving over to the next pattern, it's $57.92, which is the missus dress and top. This is 2 for the price of 1. What I mean by that is view A, you have your dress, and then view B, you have your top. It features a zipper down the front, not all the way down the front, but it features a zipper in the front. Now you have like a midi length for the dress, and then the top is just probably like hits right at your bottom part of your waist, all right? But I like this one, even though I'm not going to get this one. This also features a mini turtleneck at the collar area. So I like that as well, but I'm not going to be picking this one up. You will need some jersey knit in terms of fabric. In terms of sizing, the pattern size is 10 to 20, and this is rated as an easy to sew. All right. So once again, this is 5792. Let's move over to the next pattern. Is 5796. So the previous pattern, let me go back because I think I said 97. It's 5792. The next pattern is 5796, and this is the missus dress and top. Once again, I like this. This one just seems like your basic throw on for the fall. I like this one. But I think I'm going to leave it on the shelf as well. Now, this one is a everyday style dress, okay, that you could jazz up. It features pockets on the side. It features elastic casing or cuffs, you know, at the cuffs for view A. And then view B, just like your long, straight sleeve. I like that as well. It does feature drop shoulders for the dress and the top as well. And I'm going to say that in terms of like the finishing for your neck edge, you're just going to fold it in and top stitch. So no bias tape or anything like that for this one. And you're going to definitely want to probably use a twin needle for this one. In terms of what you're going to need in terms of fabric, of course, some form of knit, some sweatshirting, knit, jersey, ponte, whatever you want to use for that. And then in terms of sizing, it's 8 to 28 on this pattern. Once again, it's 5796. Let's go ahead and move over to the next pattern, which is 5797. And this is a missus dress. Once again, this is more of your A-line dress with some princess seams going on. Also, with this dress, you also have a cuff. So I just noticed that a lot of these patterns for this Burda collection features like a dress with a cuff. So if you are doing make 9 and you have on your make 9 that you want to learn how to do some cuffs, I'm just going to say this is your time to do so. Okay. It also features an invisible back zipper in the back. I mean, this is cute. Some color blocking. You could do some color blocking as well. In terms of fabric, you can use crepe, visco, or silk, just to name a few. You can use cotton if you want to. It's up to you what you want to use. Now, in terms of sizing, 8 to 28 on this pattern, all right? Once again, it's 57.97, something that I will not be picking up, but if you're interested, by all means, pick it up, all right? Moving over to the next pattern is 57.98. And this one is another missus dress. Now, this one features knee length dress, okay? So it gives like a vintage look with the stand-up collar. It has the short sleeve going on. Well, I'm saying it has a shortened sleeve, I should say, which is your view A, and then view B has more of like that cuff. It has a fitted belt. You can make one, you could buy one, whatever. Great drape. Now, one thing that I noticed about this one is it has a mirror inverted pleat. And that mirror inverted pleat is the bodice, and then you have pleats going on at the skirt as well. And then in the back, it features fishtail darts, okay? I have showed how to do fishtail darts as well. And what you don't see, if you look at the line arts, there's a pleat there on the sleeves as well, okay? So once again, in terms of the fabric you can use cotton, visco, cotton blends, just to name a few. Pattern sizing is 10 to 22 on this pattern. Once again, now let me say this. I actually like this pattern. I like view B, but I think for myself, what I would do is, of course, hack it, because I do have a pussy bow blouse that I can use, hack it at the waist, and then add that skirt and get the same thing. Okay, so that's why I'm leaving this one on, you know, in the store, on the website, whatever you want to call it, and just because, like I said, I want to hack more of my patterns. All right. And once again, this is 57.98. Next pattern is 57.99, which is a missus jacket. Now, this one is something that I want to pick up. Now, I could draft it, I can make it, I can do all of those things using my basic bodice sloper. I don't feel like doing that, okay? So this one right here is a great transitional coat. Now, view A shows the model with a quilted. Now, I'm just going to say you can buy quilted fabric in your local Joann's if you are, you know, central to your local Joann's, or you have a Joann's close by. However, you could pick up some fabric and quilt it yourself, you know, by using some baiting and all of that, baiting, wherever you stay. It depends on wherever you stay is how you pronounce it, right? But yeah, I would say that this would be good. Now, for this one, view A is a concealed placket, and then view B shows you can use buttons or snaps for view B. All right, so I like this one. It's like a retro style look. I'm interested in view B. That would be great for the fall. Now you guys know that the Burda patterns probably will not make it to Joann's until the winter time, okay? So even if I was to put this on my to pick up list, I probably won't be able to make it until next year anyway, all right? One thing I will mention is like simplicity.com normally do not have Burda style pattern sales very often, maybe once a year, and that's a hard maybe, okay? And I already mentioned Joann's. But this is an average to sew pattern for sure. In terms of fabric, I mentioned a few of them already, but I would say like any type of quilted fabrics, you can use wool, you can use jacquard, you could use brocade, you can use a lot of different fabrics for this one. But once again, it's $57.99, one of the patterns that I will be picking up, all right? Let's go ahead and move over to the next pattern, which is 5801. Now, this is a pattern that I am interested in picking up, but I'm going to possibly leave on the shelf. Now, a couple of things. I might actually pick this pattern up. Honestly, I actually wrote this pattern down to pick up simply because I like the elasticated pants, and it looks like it has a faux zipper, not a real fly front zipper, but a faux one. Faux means fake, okay? All right, so for this pattern, it's a Mrs. Trousers, linen, something with a little bit of structure, breathable for sure, just to name a few. Now, this is a wide fit. They claim to be comfortable. I don't know. I don't have a pattern. I like the fact that it's elasticated waistband. Also, I like the fact that you have view A, which is your basic style pants or trousers. View B and view C are your cargo style pants for sure, or trousers. So I like that. I'm interested in view B, more like the, you know, cargo pants that are more like a wide leg, not like straight to my ankles, because I like my pants to cover my shoes, okay? Now, it's an average to sew pattern. In terms of the sizing, 10 to 20 for this pattern. Once again, it's 5801. Moving over to, and that was the last pattern, 5801 was the last pattern in this collection. So those are all the patterns for this Burda fall collections. Let me know your thoughts, which ones you will be picking up. You know, I did my best on this one, y'all. It's an okay collection, but so I'm going to say it's an okay collection if you are into Burda style. But in my eyes, it's a hard pass for me on most of them. I think it's probably about roughly, I could see myself picking up 6, but how many will Rochelle actually pick up is probably 2. All right. Well, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed. And if this video was educational, inspiring, and fun, please do not forget to hit that like button, subscribe button. Also, smash that notification bell so you are notified every time I upload a new video. So I'll catch you in the next video. And as always, keep sewing.
Mm-hmm.